Oh, fuck. Oh, goddamn. Only got 5% battery left on my fucking phone.
Piece of shit.
5%.
Piece of fucking junk. Piece of goddamn shit.
Fuck 'em.
I don't think we have a charger down here anymore. Do you mean to go get you
I
one?
think so. You don't have to.
I got one at the top of the steps.
I'll say you don't have
Hi, everybody. I'll be right back.
to. Oh, fuck. Fuck a duck. Hi, guys. How's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's having a beautiful day.
Hopefully not.
If you're not, then I don't fucking care. Hi, everybody. Oh, shit. What's up? What's up? What's up? I don't have a duck, I'm sorry. Or else I would show you. This is a poultry-free studio.
I'm grabbing a charger for Rob.
Right now, I'm drinking Dr. Pepper Zero. It's just for you, Pete. We did not get the matching tattoo yet, no.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
You didn't comment, you prick. Did you hear what I said, that I was just seeing if you would pay attention to me or not?
What's that?
There was a comment on there. They're like, what about get it with
Oh,
Rob?
yeah,
And I
yeah.
said, this is just a test to see if he's paying attention to me or not. How's it going, everybody? Thanks for being here. Alrighty. Delicious Nicolicious is here. Thought he's going to do it without me, didn't you? Fucking think again.
He just saved the day for me. So.
Think again. Close it.
Close it.
Oh my god. Let's record. Yep. You know it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Fucking queer as a football bat.
That's me.
You piece of shit. Alright. I'm all okay. I'm ready to go if you're ready to go.
Let's do it.
Let's do a real big one. I'm doing standing on the clubs and never get in. It's like the bottom of the Nile, I'm never gonna win. Why won't Rob Dog suck my fucking cock? How big's your fucking cock? Well, it's about 3 to 4 inches on a hot day. I got big saggy balls and they're all gay. And if you think you can suck it, and go.
Daddy would for a long time,
I was
dude.
flowing.
I know, man. You're just vibing. It's a fucking feeling, dude. It's
Hold on, we gotta restart, dude. I don't think that was good enough. Are we live on YouTube?
yeah, we are, man.
Yeah, we are, so I can't redo it. How's it going, everybody? Thanks for coming to the listen to the Brohio podcast. I'm the delicious Nicolicious.
I'm Rob Dogger, also known as Bert. What's up, guys?
Chad Kruger. They call me Lex for short.
Lex and Bert.
So some of my wife's friends have started calling me Lex. And my wife hates it. She fucking hates it.
Like, where's Lex?
They're like, tell Lex I said what's up. And then I'll say, thank you for respecting my name change. And even people from the podcast will say, look, what's up, Lex?
Identify as Lex.
Yeah. Yeah, we're happy to have you guys. Thanks for being here. We're doing an episode on a lady that's fucking bitch, so that'll be a really good one. If you're at all affiliated with her, then thanks for listening. Hopefully she didn't do anything to you, and we're happy you're alive. Should have reached out to some people from this case, see if they wanted to come on here.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have time, though, you know? That's the thing about life, buddy.
It gets in the way, man.
You never have time for anything.
Nope.
Nothing. How about a Busch Light Peach?
Have you had one yet?
Yeah, they remind me of my ass. Big and fucking juicy.
Big and fucking juicy.
The first one, these actually might be good.
Right dead in the center. It's got a super, super hard dark spot.
It's got a hard nut right in the fucking...
right in the middle.
Now, they're pretty good, man. I like them. They're different for sure. That's how you mix it with Mountain Dew. It's pretty good. I don't know if that's true or not.
Church it up.
Regardless, let's say thank you to some very, very special people.
Let's do it.
Starting off first with LJ Walter.
There you go.
LJ Walter. LJ, thanks for being here, buddy. Love your fucking fried fish. Love your hush puppies.
That's JJ's.
That's Long John's.
Oh, Long John, there you go.
Long John Silver's, man. You ever been there?
It's been a long time, dude. I forgot the Long John Silver's was even a thing.
I remember my dad went to go pick up food from there one time. And
JJ's is like the hood version of Long John Silver's.
It is around here in Dayton.
But it's fucking good.
It is good.
It's fucking great.
They said, what do you want? I'm like, just give me whatever. It's all good.
Yeah.
My dad was going to get Long Johns for the family. He's like, what do you want? I said, I'll do a number 3. He said, okay. And he coming back home, and he just got this fucking mean-ass look on his face. He's like, you know what the number 3 is? I'm like, yeah, I know what it is. It's fucking 3 chicken tenders and 3 planks of fish.
Yeah.
It's everything.
Yeah.
But it's like $15.
It's delicious.
He was mad because
Yeah.
I was young, dude. I was a little kid, and I ordered the biggest motherfucker on the menu. He got it for me, though. I ate it all.
Well, that's a good dad.
Yeah, it was, man.
Speaking of fish, we have Vanessa Marcelino. Thank you very much, Vanessa. We appreciate it. Sorry about that comment.
She a bass angler or something? Fuck, man.
Sorry.
We got to draw a line somewhere. Sorry, Vanessa. We love you, girl. Thanks for being here. How about Austin Rhodes? No relation to the plumber's son, Dusty Rhodes. Nonetheless, Austin, or I like to call him AR-15 for short.
And then next we got Zack Attack at the Crack Shack.
That's where I'm going after this show.
Yeah.
The Crack Shack.
Take me, dog.
We're all going. How about Esteban Julio Montoya Lopez Gonzalez the Third?
I was hoping you were gonna get all into that
Tried
one.
to fuck me up, Esteban. Love your guitars, by the way. Giant pieces of shit.
Fucking Esteban guitars. I remember those fucking infomercials back in the day, dude.
I got one.
Did you have one?
Some guy come into my dad's car lot
Yeah.
and traded it in on something, and my dad took the guitar for a fucking... He's like, I got a nice guitar. And I said, let me look at it, man. Because one time he took a guitar on trade. It was like a fucking $3,000 Dean. I still got it in the case around here. Nice guitar. And so then he was like, I'm going to get another guitar.
It's fucking Esteban.
It was an Esteban guitar.
Dude, that shit.
This thing was all fucking bowed up like it had been sat on and shit. It was a piece of junk.
And let's see. Last we got Clapton Cheeks.
That's where I'm going.
Hey, there you go.
I'm going to Clapton Cheeks. We had a message from a longtime listener, Taylor Norman, Taylor Elizabeth Norman. She's an actress.
Okay.
And she actually said that she's been listening to us forever, and we are the ones that made her kind of go out of her comfort zone and pursue acting.
Okay.
And she's coming up soon. She's going to be in a film with, I got to look up his name again right here. So
Johnny Sins?
I don't get it wrong. Eric Roberts.
Okay.
He's a big-time actor. He's Julia Roberts' brother.
Hell yeah.
But she sent us the link to her new... She's doing a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan film. It's called The Chase.
Hell yeah, that's cool.
She's in that, and I watched it. It's about 11 minutes.
That's fucking sweet.
Don't want to spoil it, but she gets a chainsaw rammed right up her ass.
Oh, yes, dude.
Lifted up off the ground.
I love it. That's great.
If you like her and you think she's pretty, don't get too attached because she died. But she is doing big things. She's a big listener to the show.
That's awesome. Good for her. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Taylor. We love you so much. And any of you guys are doing, creating things, content that we can consume, send it our way. We'd love to tell everyone about it. We'd love to tell everyone what an awesome fucking job you're doing. We're so appreciative of all of you. The least we can do is just tell the world how good of a job you're doing and you're knocking it out of the park. Even if it's like, that music this like that Robert listens to with the Satan fucking voices and stuff. Send that to us, man. I won't play it, but I'll fucking listen to it. You know, no, we'll play all. If you're talented, you got a gift, we'll share it, man.
What? Dude, Hardy's fucked.
Or Carl's Jr. if you're in that neck of the woods. Shows a group of teens handling a juvenile alligator roughly. One uses the gator's teeth to puncture a can of Arizona Twisted Tea.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's a party gator, dog.
It's a party gator.
It's a fucking party gator, man.
Party croc.
Party croc.
Then shotgun the alcoholic beverage with the young reptile still clamped to the aluminum can. Quote, the lack of respect and responsibility shown toward this animal.
He shotguns it with the gator's teeth still.
Yeah, look at
Fuck,
it.
dude. That's great, man.
Gator pops, baby. Who wants a gator pop?
It's my emotional support gator. I get sad, I crack open a beer with them, and we fucking chill.
Seeing the teen basically use the reptile as a sentient drink holder, then drop it on the hot parking lot pavement, the wildlife... Okay, maybe that's not so nice.
Fuck, he dropped the gator? Damn, man.
But I fucking hate gators, man. They killed that little boy at Disneyland.
Gator don't play.
Disney World. Gator don't play no shit.
Gator don't play no shit.
Noted that the gator seemed stunned with the comment, normally a little gator about that size, when he hit the ground, he should have hit it running. Yates noted the gator may have been abused prior to the beginning of the video.
Aww.
I think these kids were honestly fucking this gator.
Yeah.
They are fucking it. In my opinion, everyone they got on the video that touched it needs to be brought in for one of our judges.
Oh.
The gator was released relatively unharmed to a nearby retention pond, according to the FWC. Here's hoping it stays away from bored teenagers in the future.
Smoking, snorting, shooting.
Man, I can shotgun a fucking beer.
I never have.
I have, and I'm good at it. I can say without a shadow of a doubt, if I shotgun a Twisted Tea, I would fucking vomit all over the place.
Just let these hold that fucking gator in the air.
The gator's holding it.
He's got a fucking death grip on him, man. Right outside of Hardee's.
Dude, let's flip this over for the YouTube subscribers to check this out, man.
That's pretty great, man. I'm sorry for the gator, but that's a...
Yeah. Let me see here. I gotta go here. And then I gotta go here. That's not it. Yeah, that is it. Where'd they go? I lost the fucking gator. Yeah,
There
look
he
at
is.
that there, YouTube. That boy right there. Criminal charges, alligator abuse case. He's got him a little Twisted Tea.
They both getting twisted.
Got the gator.
The alligator's legit twisted right now. Look at him. He's in a fucking barrel roll.
Listen, man. If it were a cat or something,
Yeah.
I would be upset.
Yeah, reptiles don't have feelings.
Gators, though, those are varmint. Those things are a problem. Those motherfuckers are a nuisance. You feel me?
Yeah. Hey, Guy Williams said, "Hey, fellas, thanks for taking a look at my swollen thumb." The pleasure's all ours, my friend.
Thanks, man. Hope you.
Go get that checked out.
No, fucking hold on to that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's
but
great.
I did. Just real quick here, I did get a new cat.
You did. Yeah.
I don't know why. I didn't need another cat. I don't change the litter enough now as it is. So I said, what the who? There's a little kitty cat.
Ow.
Oh, sunburn, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, we went to the pet store, and it's just me and Paisley. She said, if they got a cat, can we get one? I said, this pet store doesn't have cats. Because I didn't think they did.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said, well, if they do, can we get one? I said, I don't think they got cats here, so don't get your hopes up. She said, yeah, but if they do, can we get one? I said, we'll look. And we go and we look at this little cat. We pick it up. Well, there's a little black one. We hold the black one. It's fucking squirming and shit. I throw it back in the cage. I'm like, come on, Paige.
I already told you we were going to get the black one.
and we put the cat back, and then I looked at the cage next to it. Before we got the black one out, I looked at the cage next to it, and it was empty.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a little trap door where they go for their fucking litter box.
Oh,
where you
that's-
can't see them.
That's pretty cool.
So they can shit in the dark and no one can watch them. And out comes this gorgeous little fucking baby white cat. And it looks at me and it cocks his head. And I asked the lady, I said, can I get this one out? And she said, oh, this is Lorelei. She is so sweet. And I got her out, and I flipped her on her back, held her like a baby, and she just gazed in my eyes, and she said, meow. And I went, oh, my God.
That's exactly what you said to me. You're like, she fucking meowed at me, Robert.
Well, then this little fucking hood-ass baby ran up, and he said, hey, when you're done holding that cat, can I hold that cat? I said, I can't let you hold the cat, pal. I can't let you hold the cat, pal. This is fucking official cat business. This is official kitty cat business. No, the worker, because the worker, she was by her. She said, "Can I go ring these people up and you can hold on to the cat?"
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Sure." And the kid ran up while she was ringing people out, and he said, "Can I hold the cat?" I said, "I'm not supposed to really do anything. I'm supposed to hold on to the cat till they're done." He said, "Oh, well, when you're done with it, we're getting that cat." And the mom was over there, just fucking, kind of. She had another kid with her, and she was like kind of jerking at her wrist and cussing at her and stuff.
Ooh. And
I said, if the mom's treating the kids like that, I know what kind of life this cat is going to have.
Yeah.
We're getting the fucking cat. And that's what I told that kid. I said, you can pet this kitty, but I'm getting this cat. And he said, oh, okay. I'll get the black one. I said, you can do whatever you want, but I'm getting this cat. And then it became a fucking stare off because he just started staring at me. And I think he wanted me to relent and say, oh, you can have this cat if you want, buddy.
No, fuck that.
But I took that fucking cat home with me.
That's what you got to do, man.
I put in my application to the Humane Society. I lied. I told him that I didn't have any animals. Told him I didn't have any dogs.
Yeah.
Told him all kinds of vicious lies. And they called and said, you're approved. You can take the cat home. Half off adoptions, too. She's only $32.
Hell yeah.
She's spayed, but it looks like a fucking dumb nut did it. She's got a fucking large nut right there in her stomach. I got to get that looked at. She's so nice, though. Yeah. The kids call her Taylor. I want to call her Peaches, but they're calling her Taylor because they like Taylor Swift a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
But I call her Psst, Psst, is what I call her. And she comes. Dude, she comes when you call for her. It's funny because
that's funny.
She can hide in really weird places, but you walk into the room, you know she's in there, you're like, Psst, Psst, come here, kitty. And she crawls out. She'll like crawl out of the darkness. You'll see a little hole, and she'll just fucking crawl out of it and come running to you.
Apparate.
Yep. She just comes, dude. She comes so hard.
Jesus.
Comes running, man.
How are the dogs with her?
I fucking love kitty cats. Bruce doesn't give a flying
I figured
fuck,
he didn't give a fuck.
And Pepper is just absolutely on edge, buddy.
Yeah. She's getting outnumbered now.
She ran
outnumbered.
She ran down there, and because we did like a slow adjustment, 3 days. We kept the cat in the same room and let the existing animals visit through the door. Pepper stuck her nose under the door and got fucking whacked by this new cat. Just like
bopped?
Yeah, like claw in the nose.
Oh.
And Pepper took off running, and she come to me and like jumped in my belly and was trying to hide. I'm like, what happened?
She got them hands.
Stuck her nose under the... So now when I bring the kitten close to her, she's like, nah, fuck this, man. She runs away. It's funny. But,
that's funny.
you know, they'll work it out. They're just animals, man. They work out the hierarchy, and they're just whatever. I saved that cat from going to presumably what I thought was going to be a less than favorable living situation.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. And how about a quick break for a few of our cat sponsors? Hopefully. Right here. How was that? That was good.
Hopefully it's not like a really like timely place.
Someone wrote the other day, like, you guys talk a lot of shit for people that have fucking left-wing ads and vote for
We don't pick the ads, fuckers.
I don't know. They sent us a...
Our ad agency picks the ads.
They sent us a list that says, are you okay with guns, drugs, knives, politics? And me and Rob say, oh, dial down the middle, motherfucker.
Yep.
Run them all. I don't care.
Yep.
Run them, roll them. Who cares?
Nope.
I don't fucking care if your feelings are hurt either.
Yeah. I don't give a shit. I kind of hope they are.
I mean, I'm apologetic whenever I know I'm wrong, but if it's just you hear an ad and you get butt hurt and you're like...
Yeah, if your feelings are hurt that bad, or that easily.
I'm not listening to these guys anymore because they had an ad for a gun, and I do not like water guns. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't care.
Nonetheless, if we ever hang out together, I will still fucking clap them cheeks, buddy.
Amen.
How about we go to old Springfield, Oregon?
Okay.
You know what's going on there.
The only thing I know about Springfield is that those are always shitholes.
We're gonna kind of do this one in reverse. This is a longer topic, but we got to start at the beginning to get to the end.
Okay.
So we're gonna start at the end, and then double back and kind of start at the beginning.
Okay. So we're gonna Tarantino it.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he's way overrated.
I don't. I'm done. I love Tarantino.
I said that because Fight Club's your favorite movie, right?
Tarantino didn't do that one though, but yeah.
You got both jokes.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to upset you.
Oh no. I'm good, man.
Kill Bill.
I do like Kill Bill a lot. Yeah.
Good one.
Mm-hmm.
Dusk Till Dawn. Right?
No.
Are you sure?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Might be wrong. I don't think I'm wrong though.
Isn't that the one where he's fucking sucking what's her Eva Mendez's foot or whatever?
Is that it? I thought it was
Dusk Till Dawn. Quentin Tarantino. I have no idea how I just.
I thought it was yeah, maybe you're right.
He's in it. I don't know if he
Okay.
did anything. Yeah, he was not the. He was the. He did the screenplay.
Okay. I didn't think that was one of his movies.
I would say it's kind of one of his movies.
Yeah, he's a part of it for sure.
Part of it.
I like Quentin though.
Springfield, Oregon, on the night of May 19th, 1983. Dirty D, Double D, Diane Downs.
I have that.
Double D? Some
Downs.
double D's?
Just Downs.
No, I mean, I
I'm a
saw her.
Downy.
I saw her at the cookout. Those aren't dirty. Those aren't double D's anymore. She's a good solid C now.
Okay.
You know, you agree or?
Sure. I don't fucking know. Yeah. You say it, man. I'm there with you.
I'm talking about your lady friend. Your fucking wife?
What about her? Oh,
I said theirs are not double D's anymore. I'd say they're a good, solid, hefty C.
Yeah.
People fucking lose weight and those titties go away.
It's depressing. It's really fucking depressing. See, let's not bring that up again.
She's doing good. She's doing real good. All right, May 19th, 1983. Dirty D, Double D, Diane Downs. She arrived at an emergency room bay. Her 3 children, Christy, 8 years old, Cheryl, 7 years old, and Danny, 3 years old, were in the back seat, covered in blood from being shot at close range.
Damn.
Tragically, the middle child, Cheryl, was pronounced dead at the scene, while the other 2 children faced life-threatening injuries and were admitted to the hospital. When questioned about the harrowing incident, Dirty D, Diane Downs, recounted a chilling tale. According to her, a man flagged her down while her children were asleep in the back seat. This all happened near a dirt road. He demanded her car, but she refused, leading to him shooting her children. Following the traumatic event, she managed to escape and sought help at the emergency room. In the struggle with the unidentified, shaggy-haired man, Diane Downs shot herself. She sustained a non-life-threatening gunshot wound to her own left arm.
Okay.
So that's where we're at. We're in the emergency room. We got a mom screeching into the emergency room. She's been shot in the arm, and not just like a superficial wound.
Mm-hmm. She's
been shot in the arm. Shattered bones, broken arm, fucked up. You got 3 kids in the back seat. One sadly, Cheryl. I believe. Cheryl.
Yeah, Cheryl.
Sadly, she's deceased already at this point.
Fuck.
Christy, the oldest, and Danny, the young boy, are still alive. How did we get here? What happened? That's what we're going to. That's the winding road we're going to take the Brohio Nation down.
Hell yeah.
For this one. Diane Fredrickson. She wasn't Diane Downs at the time, but when she first started, what do they call that? Your fucking
maiden name.
Your servant name or something, or
servant name.
Your maiden name. If I ever get married, I'm taking my wife's last name. Unless she's got a fucking family full of rejects like my wife, then we'll take my last name, right?
I agree.
Although your family's royalty, man. Your wife's related to Pete Rose.
It's true.
He's a legend around here.
Yeah. He's a dickhead, too, from what I hear.
Yeah, here he is, too. Here he's awful. Insufferable. Yeah, Diane Fredrickson, born on August 7th, 1955 in Phoenix, Arizona. She experienced a childhood under the guidance of her strict Baptist parents. These sound like Baptist names, too. Willadine.
Oh, fuck.
That was Mama Willadine. and Wes. Not West. Wes. Yeah. I work with a fellow named Wes.
Yeah?
He will come find me, and he will fart around me. We'll be in enclosed spaces, and this motherfucker will fart, and it sounds like there's been trauma to his anus, and I like to cut up and have a good time. Like, oh yeah, the bros just farting on each other.
Yeah.
But I tell him, like, look, dude, you need to go to the hospital or the doctor.
What is it, just like, is like cavernous?
It's like, it's like,
God. Okay.
I can't even explain it.
Okay.
He sounds hurt.
It sounds like his asshole has a sinus infection.
And after he does it, he smiles, but I can see tears coming out of his eyes. He tries to smile through it, but I know that he's got
smiling through the pain.
Fuck, he's fucked up.
Oh man, that poor butthole.
Need a wipe. I don't know. Needs a box of wipes.
There's like just some unnecessary flaps in there. You got a flappy butthole.
That could be it. Fucking tater butt.
It's the hemorrhoids, dude.
Though their upbringing lacked warmth, it was marked by unwavering dedication from her parents. They took real good. They fucking gave her the necessities, but not much else beyond that. Growing up, she had a deep affection for animals, but she was also a bit of a wild, what we call a wild soul. She was a very independent girl, and she lived very much beyond her years. She was very into older men.
She's a whore.
Is
that what you're saying?
No. Because, Robert, if you or I wanted to fuck 1,000 women,
you're still a whore.
No one would call us whores. But if a girl wants to do whatever, then all of a sudden she's a whore.
A whore's a whore. I mean, if you're a whore, you're a whore. I don't care. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
The more and more I think
Own it.
The more and more I think about this,
mm-hmm.
Dude, if you held your hand up like a donut and I stuck my finger in it, that's just like literally all that is our flesh touching each other.
Yeah.
And if we cram our buttholes together,
yeah,
people are gonna be like, oh my God, they're rubbing their buttholes together, they're fucking gay. It's no different than the flesh in your finger.
Sure.
If you stick your finger in your butt, does your finger stink?
I mean, I don't think I'd smell it, but I would assume.
Yeah, man, it's gonna stink.
I mean, I wouldn't put it in my mouth right afterwards or anything.
But that doesn't make you it doesn't make you gay if your fucking butt stinks.
No, I mean,
do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I get what you're saying, yeah.
I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now.
No, I feel
I'm glad you get it, though.
Yeah, I get it. I'm there
it's
with
just
you, man.
flesh, man. If you make out with your grandpa, that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Nobody's a whore, man. That's the moral of my story. Let's just...
grandpa kind of is. You're making out with your grandpa.
Grandpa's a whore. If he's still...
if he's still
making out, then yeah, he's a fucking whore. Dude, I remember like back in the day, there like
people listen to this.
You hear rumors of girls that just like they were wild, and people would be like, hell yeah, I want to fucking hang out with her.
I want to party with this bitch.
People that fuck are fun, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
My wife rolls over and has a headache. I'm like, man, this sucks. But the night she's like, suck on these fat ass fucking titties. I say, hell yeah, baby girl.
Dude, someone came at me like that. I'm like, God damn, bitch.
Yeah, dude. She says, fucking bite my nipples off. Sometimes she likes to try and get me to bite her nipples off. See if I'm man enough to do it.
Like off?
Off of her body.
Oh, man.
I can't do it. I can do my own. I got little nipples, though. Yeah.
Little baby Tic Tacs.
Much more fun on the night that she tries to murder me with her tits
Yeah, man.
than on the nights that she's just like, I'm going to read my book and go to bed. Okay, sweetheart, I'll see you in the morning.
It's either I'm reading my book or bite my nipples off. It's never in the middle.
Yeah, while Diane possessed remarkable intelligence, her emotional intelligence fell very short. Her longing for freedom, love, and affection threatened to lead her down a very self-destructive path. You know, she was always on the run looking for big fucking older fat cocks.
Who doesn't love an older fat cock?
She's always looking for fucking drugs, pot. I read here that she was doing marijuanas.
Oh, man.
Which she was an addict at that point if she's doing it.
I know.
We got a lot of addicts that listen to this show. During her high school years, she encountered the charming, handsome Stephen Downs. And you know where this is going. If the episode's entitled Diane Downs and she meets a fellow named Stephen Downs, you know what's going to happen.
It's going down.
It's going down. Oh, man. And Stephen picked her out because I fucking wish that we could make certain jokes, but I'm not going to do it.
Oh, we totally can.
No, man, it's fine. I don't remember what I was going to say.
I've been watching so much fucking Kill Tony lately, and the shit that they say on there, I'm like, you know what?
We're fine.
I'm not afraid to say what some of the shit that I want to say anymore.
We're fine. Yeah, she was a bit of an ugly duckling, but Steven recognized that, hey, you know, she's probably going to be pretty attractive when she grows up. So Steven said, I'm going to fucking lock her down.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's, you know, if you're listening to this show and you're 16, 17 years old and you're trying to find a nice girlfriend, don't look for the ones that are really pretty now. Look for the ones that have ambition and skinny ankles. The ones that, you know, they're going to help you pay the bills, and you guys are going to grow old and healthy together. That's my advice. Get you someone that likes to blow I've taught Paisley to spit. So she spits now when she's outside, and it's driving my wife up the fucking wall. She hates it, screaming at her. But people think it's funny when she spits.
It is funny.
So I'm teaching her a life skill.
Yeah. Be applicable.
Oh, man.
Fuck.
Spits, just a fucking 7-year-old, 6-year-old girl just hawking loogies across the parking lot.
That's fucking cool, man.
Yeah. You know, Diane, she yearned to escape high school she was getting bullied. People kind of made fun of her for the way she was, kind of into the older men, and just kind of a wild spirit, almost like an eccentric, kind of just a little different. And they gave her a really hard time for that, unfortunately. But she was ready to get out of high school and marry old Steve.
Old Downey.
Steve Downs. Steve Downs and Diane Downs. What do you think their kids were going to be like?
Down syndrome?
No, Robert.
No? Okay.
No.
They had up syndrome?
No,
Okay.
That's not what I'm trying to get out of you. Because all God's babies are beautiful.
I'm not saying they're not.
It doesn't fucking matter.
I'd have been okay if I had a Downey. I mean, I think it'd have been kind of cool.
Dude, I see people with all kinds of developmental issues on TikTok and shit. I'm like, that's a cool fucking dude.
Yeah, no, yeah.
One of my most favorite humans in the entire world, old Teddy from the Cincinnati Reds. He's got Down syndrome. But that guy lights up the fucking place, and he still works down there. And we went down for a game a couple weeks ago, and I saw him in person. He's like a celebrity on the internet. I said, Teddy, and he said, yeah, and he fucking threw his arms up, dude. This motherfucker hugged me and about crushed my ass.
Yeah, man.
He was so excited to see me. He's got no fucking clue who I am, but he knew that I was excited to see him. Just a fucking ray of sunshine, dude.
Down syndrome is like, it's like always looked upon as like, well, it's not looked upon, but people think of it as like a bad thing, but they are literally like, it's like it takes away the whole negative aspect of being a normal person. Like everything's a positive to them. They're so much filled with so much love and just excitement for the world. And
I just want to fucking hug him and kiss him, dude.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you just walk up and start kissing a Down syndrome person in public, you get in fucking trouble.
Yeah, you can't do that.
So don't listen to what I say just because I want to try and steer you in that direction.
They frown upon that.
They do. Now, following their graduation, Stephen enlisted in the U.S. Navy, which is far fucking very... Never mind. People in the Navy, they're just idiots, man.
Yeah.
They are well, I shouldn't say that. All the guys that I've met that were in the Navy, all they talk about is like fucking each other on boats and shit. Which I think, could be cool if they would tell the story right. Lots of cool dudes I know in the Navy, though. I know a lot of people in the Navy, man.
I don't think I really know too many.
All veterans are just good-ass fucking dudes, for the most part.
Yeah.
Except for those guys on the sidewalk with signs and shit that just make it awkward with the eye contact and shit.
Yeah, I don't like it.
While Diane found herself enrolled at Pacific Coast Baptist Bible College.
Oh fuck.
God. However, her attempts at maintaining an aura of purity and chastity went down the drain faster than a fucking soggy biscuit. Much like countless girls of her time who rebelled against their religious upbringing, it came as no surprise when she was swiftly expelled from college because she was fucking drinking beer, sucking dick, making out with girls and guys. And at the Bible college, they said, they totally said, further than the love of Jesus, you need to get the fuck out of here because you're not welcome here. You are a goddamn sex machine. You cannot be here. So they kicked her out of the college, man. And whenever she got kicked out of the college, that led her back to Stephen, which her parents did not want. Her parents, kind of pretty much made her go to this Bible college to get her away from Stephen. But as Rascal Flatts used to say, God bless the broken road, then let me straight to you. And they got back together, dude. And
that was pretty good.
I can take the rain on if it is in the house. It don't bother me. I'll sing all of them, dude. I loved Rascal Flatts.
Don't let me stop you, man. Keep fucking going.
You like Rascal Flatts?
I don't.
Life is a highway.
Not my thing. I get it.
You're so fucking.
Not really,
you're
but
so irritable, man.
Not irritable at all. Just my bowels.
Yeah, I know. I joined an IBS group on Facebook.
Of course you did.
I forgot to tell you. Dude.
Yeah, you didn't tell me.
I think it's called IBS shit posting.
See what they did there.
And it's for people it's meant to be a group for people that just sit on the toilet all day and read memes because they got fucking IBS.
That's fucking dope.
There's all kinds of people in it asking questions like, oh, fucking, what do you wipe with? My fucking ass feels like it's been wiped with a cheese grater, and just all kinds of IBS talk. And I don't have IBS, so I'm like, fuck this shit, man. It sucks. Oh, God. Yeah, but she got back together with old Steve, and her parents are pissed. They envisioned a bright future for Diane, and this bad boy was certainly not in the picture that they had painted. Now, Stephen and Diane, they actually went on to marry one another on November 13th, 1973. She was 18 and soon realized that she was indeed eating a gigantic shit fucking sandwich.
Oh.
Her husband, the undisputed champion of playing the field and evading responsibility, proved to be an expert in the art of fake love. So their relationship was just like, they got married, and he's like, oh, do not really love this woman. And the honeymoon phase was gone pretty much right off the rip. There was not, so the foundational things that you build a relationship on, honesty, love, caringness, that physical connection, all that stuff was just gone, man. And it made for a really shitty marriage. But she did something that I think is a big, big mistake. They Band-Aided their broken marriage by having a child.
Oh, yeah.
And I've known people like that they get in a really, really bad spot in a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Probably shouldn't be married anymore. And they say, let's see if a baby will fix this. What?
Oh, yeah.
No! Oh, man. And it makes for just a really toxic family environment. But, to each their own.
Definitely do that, everybody.
And the thing about, in this specific story, Diane was dealing with some debilitating mental health issues. She was a psycho. She, for lack of a better word, she was a psychopath, and she knew that she could create like this nest environment if she would just get pregnant. And when she would get pregnant, he would kind of relent. Like, all right, she's pregnant. She's having my kid. I just fucking take care of her. And things would get kosher for a little while.
Okay.
But then as soon as she'd have a kid, he'd go back to cheating, lying, not being forthcoming, kind of being here or there all over the place. Back to being a shitty dude.
Sure.
So then to wrangle him back in, she'd just get fucking pregnant again. There's a kind of a vicious cycle here.
Good old theme.
But their first child, Christy, she was born October of 1974, and they had their second child, which went on to, she was the child that died in the shooting, Cheryl Lynn. She was born just about a year and a half later, January of 1976. And, like I said, she was just using the pregnancies as a Band-Aid for the marriage. Unfortunately, this didn't last long. Their marriage turned into a daily kind of just fight over finances. They were never nice to one another. She never knew where he was at. He didn't help her out with bills or paying for anything around the house. And that's what I do to my wife, dude. If she pisses me off, I just won't I won't pay the bills. I won't pay the phone bill or the electric, and to get shut off. And she'll say, "What the fuck happened?" I'll say, "You're fucking showing out again. What's going on? You're being mean and nasty. What'd that get you?"
It's funny you ain't gonna be mean and nasty when the lights are out. Can't even see my ass.
Darkness, yeah. Come find me to cuss me out, bitch. And she actually walked out. She left Steve. She left him multiple times. From 1976 and through 1977, she would just say, "All right, enough of this shit," and she would leave his ass. But she didn't really have anywhere to go. The only place that she could go was to her parents, and they were just those Bible fucking humping, thumping weirdos, man. So she didn't want to stay there very long. And Steve, he'd find her, he'd track her down, he'd schmooze her.
He got that good trauma dick.
Got that big old 4.5, probably 5.5-inch dick, just ready, just 1976, big old bush full of pubes.
Big old bush, yeah. Big old fucking trauma, emotional trauma dick.
Smoking weed.
All the drugs.
And he would schmooze her, man. He'd win her back over and convince her he'd bring her back home. But after the birth of their second child, Cheryl Lynn, Steve said, "All right, I know what your game is here. You're using these kids to kind of keep me around. I'm done with it." And this motherfucker went and got his dick cut off, man.
Damn.
Got a vasectomy.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that what it is?
Close.
Pretty much. Every dude I know that's castrated or
It's not castration.
every dude I know that's got a one of those things, got one of those things that keeps their dick from, got a vasectomy.
Yeah. Keeps
They're
from
all
squirting.
they're all gay now.
Really?
Every one of them are gay. They'll
So that's what's wrong with my brother.
yeah, dude. And even at your party over the weekend, we were passing each other, and he reached up and I thought he was gonna grab me on the dick.
Yeah.
He went underneath and he got
you
my
get the undercarriage.
He got my taint and my balls.
He gave you an oil change.
Not my butthole,
Okay.
but then he grabbed my penis.
He's checked your fluids.
He grabbed my scrotum and he folded it up over my penis.
Oh, man.
And he said, "What are you going to do with that fucking dick?" And there was nothing I could do because he had it trapped. He had a fistful of my sack.
Yeah.
And I said, "What the freaking heck, man?" I put my hands up. And then we were staring at each other, and he said, "I got a fucking vasectomy." And I said, "I know, I can tell, because all you motherfuckers that get that, you're different afterwards. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what they put in your butt that makes you act that way. They put some scent glands in there like a skunk.
Or what they take out.
I don't know.
They're either putting something in or taking something out.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They don't pay me the big bucks to be a scientist, but that's what it is." So Big Steve, he got a vasectomy. He said, "I ain't having no more kids with this crazy ass bitch."
Cut my dick off.
But before he got the vasectomy, she got pregnant with a third child, and she opted to have an abortion. But shortly after that is when he decided to get the vasectomy. He said, no more babies. Nah, we're not doing this anymore. And we spoke briefly about her leaving a lot, 1976 to 1977. Those troubles kind of, they followed. They followed them, man. They didn't go away. Every time she felt like the marriage was on the brink of falling apart for good, she'd always just opt to get pregnant. But since he said, we're not doing that anymore, he got the vasectomy, he kind of shut that shit down. And she would not let the fact that her husband no longer produced the old fucking cock mustard potent enough to get people pregnant.
Yeah.
She said, I don't need your cock mustard no more.
Oof.
That's not going to stop me from having a baby.
Man.
You make cock mustard?
I'm sure I have before. Once or twice.
What did the janitor say when he came out of the closet?
I don't know.
Supplies!
Stop.
What did you think of that one?
The hands really sold it for me.
Okay. Paisley told me that one the other day. About fucking killed my ass. About put old dad in the ground when she told me that one. He's like, knock knock. I said, who's there? She said, what did the janitor say when he come out of the closet? I said, I don't think you're doing this right. But go on. What did he say? She said, supplies. And I'm like, hell yeah. Fucking dying.
Yeah, when the kids evolve to doing the dad jokes, that's when you know you're fucking.
Well, it's really funny because no matter what kind of joke she's telling you, she starts it by saying knock knock.
Knock knock. Just so you know it's a joke.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's great, man.
That's cute.
Yeah.
So she had to think outside the box. Her husband's no longer producing potent cock mustard, and he has no way. She has no way to squeeze another child out of him. So she actually seduced a friend of hers named Mark Sager, and he was actually the father of the third child that she gave birth to in 1979, who we talked about. He was the little boy that survived the shooting. His name was Denny. I think his actual birth name was Stephen after his not dad.
Oops.
But Stephen still believed that the boy was indeed his, even though it was not. He loved the little newborn baby Denny and treated him as his own. He did, however, not stop being kind of a scumbag husband. Diane and Steve they found themselves in a perpetual loop of fiery disputes, a lot of issues with money, accusations of infidelity, unfaithfulness. Eventually, their fucked up relationship kind of came to a breaking point. They got a divorce in 1980. The kind of the straw that broke the camel's back there. He put two and two together. He said, I got a vasectomy.
Yeah.
And then she got pregnant after I got this vasectomy.
Math ain't mathin'.
It's not working. But it does happen, though.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you that.
Yeah.
They make you come back to the doctor's office and jack off into a cup.
Every so often, yeah.
To make sure your dick has not somehow become poisonous again. And they do that to make sure you're safe. You're shooting blanks. In this instance, he thought, there's maybe a chance it didn't heal right, whatever it was. But then he had some questions. He had some suspicions, and they did a little blood tests or whatever.
Ooh, that'll get
whatever
you.
It was back then. He found out that indeed the child was not his.
They ain't got Maury back then, so
yeah,
they had to do it the other way.
Yeah, they got they opted for the divorce in 1980. And they both went their separate ways, but they just kind of stayed at ends at one. They constantly fighting and bickering, kind of just like that hateful relationship. And her thing was she'd create this nest, have babies, and she didn't have a man to do that anymore. So she tried to become a surrogate mother.
Oh, okay.
And for those of you that aren't familiar with surrogacy, that's where you take a woman and you put someone else's sperm and somebody else's egg inside of her butt, and then she holds the baby for 9 months of someone else. It's a beautiful, beautiful process. It's a amazing thing. Some women just don't. They things have happened in their lives to where their bodies cannot, they can't have a baby, but they can still make a baby.
Mm-hmm.
You got these fucking angels here on earth, surrogate mothers. They'll say, all right, put your baby inside my body. I'll help you through this process. We got someone very close to us that's a surrogate mother. She's done it a couple different times now.
Yeah.
And I've heard stories of the families that are, certain illnesses, certain debilitations that happen in their life to where they can't have kids anymore, but they still have this opportunity.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I commend Diane, Dirty Diane, for doing this, but she actually failed 2 psychiatric evaluations in the surrogacy process.
Oops.
And they do vet you deeply for this. You get paid. You get paid really good money to be a surrogate mother.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not as much as it should be, but you get paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
Part of that is you got to be of sane, sound minds. They want someone carrying their child that's going to do all the right things, make all the right choices.
Which makes sense. I totally understand that.
But somehow she fucking made it through. I don't know. And someone gave her a baby, even though she flunked her psychiatric test twice. On May 8th, 1982, she gave birth to Jennifer. She was demonstrating extreme signs of psychosis. She had the hamster was in the cage, but the wheel was not spinning, dude.
Oh man, that's sad.
It was, she was a wild one. And in 1981, there, right after that, right about the time that she was being a surrogate, she actually secured a job with the United States Postal Service as a mail carrier in Chandler, Arizona.
Okay.
And I think if I had to pick another job, I would be a mail carrier because I fucking love guys and I love picking people up.
Yeah.
So anytime I can combine the two,
Right.
just walk around town picking big boys up my back.
A display of strength.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Impress some people.
Yep.
She was always the breadwinner in the family in the marriage with Stephen, and that was partially one of the reasons that they went through their divorce, because he wouldn't help her out with any money, and he was always in and out of jobs, and she was always trying to do what she could to better the family and make ends meet and make that money. And that was actually one of the main reasons behind her being a surrogate mother as well. It was mainly financially driven. So she wanted to get a big old chunk of change, and also she saw the good in it as well, that she was helping a family who otherwise would have no hope, and she was actually helping them accomplish a very important, a very beautiful thing by bringing life into the world. If we just go off of what Steve said about his wife Diane, that she was a psychopath, she was a bad mom, she was ill-tempered. If you ask Diane's friends and family, they would have said that she was the absolute greatest. She was a good mom. I need to quit drinking this Busch Light, dude. Fuck.
It's fucking getting you, man.
She was a hard worker, loving woman. But according to Steve, Diane treated her children like crap and lacked any maternal instincts. Steve later elaborated, saying, quote, Diane forbade everything to her children. If Danny demanded a little attention, she rejected him. But the worst was when one day I caught Cheryl jumping on her bed. I told her that it was not allowed. I made her sit down and think about what she had done. Cheryl remained calm while looking up and asked, is there a gun here? I replied that no, and the reason for the question, to which she told me, I want to kill me. My mom says I'm bad. So this is what the little girl said about herself to her dad.
Goddamn, Cheryl.
Fucking red flag.
Fuck.
And she wasn't one. Diane wasn't one to shy away from her own shortcomings as well. She candidly admitted to occasional neglect, impatience, excessive yelling, and said she did have room for improvement as a mother. Nevertheless, it seemed she had made a U-turn and was giving it her all, using whatever tools were in her parenting toolbox Surprisingly, despite it all, her children were head over heels in love for her, according to multiple witnesses, even though she was probably fucking not feeding them and beating the shit out of them. Now, while she was at the post office, she was having a lot of fun. She was fucking a lot of guys.
Hell yeah, I get it, girl.
Anyone that would put a wiener in there, she was squatting down on it, if you know what I mean.
She took the old, put the mail in the slot too.
Yeah, she did. I had a special delivery. It's my puss. It's my pussy. That's where, and just really pay attention to my pronunciation on this. This is where we get to meet Robert Knickerbocker.
Shit.
He comes into the chat.
That was a hard R on that one.
It was. Robert Knickerbocker.
You don't have to say it again, man.
You know what
you don't have to say it twice.
You know what his friends called him?
I don't know, man.
Nick.
Okay.
That's what.
Okay.
That's what everyone called him. Because Mr. Knickerbocker, Mr. Knickerbocker.
What up, my knicker?
No, it was Nick, man.
Okay.
It was just Nick. So
Okay, sorry.
What up, my Nick?
Okay.
Like that. Yeah, you got it, man.
Okay.
That's where Robert Knickerbocker entered the chat. They had a mostly platonic relationship. I think that's where you actually hug and shit, but you just dry hump and you don't actually fuck each other. I don't know. But their conversation turned a tad more intimate in detail. She told him about her shit ex-husband, that he refused to fuck her. He refused to be an emotional support at all. And old Knickerbocker saw the sliver of daylight, buddy. He said, I know exactly what she's looking for. And she probably was. Because she was engaging in love with everyone that she was. A very loving woman.
She had a lot of love to give.
She had a lot of fucking love to offer a lot of people. God bless her heart. And Mr. Knickerbocker, it's such a dangerous word.
I know. I'm scared every time you say it.
I'm nailing it, though. I'm doing really well. Nick, as everyone around the post office called him, he was in a rough marriage as well. He had a wife that he fucking hated named Charlene, and she was crazier than she was nuttier than a squirrel house or a shit house rat too, man. She was crazy too. And there's two sides of this story, and I'm glad that I went to two different places, but we'll get to hear about the two different sides in just a moment.
Okay.
He saw Diane as a shift from the norm. He said, I'm tired of my crazy ass wife. I'm tired of, the shit I get from her. And he deeply, deeply desired something different, the touch of a different woman, something new. That's what he wanted so badly. According to him, though, he never planned to leave his wife. He just planned for a short fling. That's all he really wanted. Okay. The Dirty Diane. That's all he wanted that to be.
He just wanted to fuck.
He wanted to fucking put what's that one song? Bust that pussy open, bust that pussy open, bust that pussy open, bust that pussy open.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, dude.
It's poetry.
You ever fucking busted a pussy open?
No. Can't have.
I almost hurt one real bad one time, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Fucking rode my bike right into her.
Oh.
Yep. You remember Candy?
Mm-hmm.
She told me we were in her driveway.
Yeah.
We're playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I gotta go. I don't want to play basketball anymore. She said, no, stay and play. Whatever. Stay and play. We're 9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
I said, I'm gonna go ride bikes. I'm gonna ride bikes. I'm getting out of here. And she ran to the edge of her driveway, and the driveway was just wide enough. You had the privacy fence in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And she had her arms fucking wide open. She said, if you can get past me, you can leave. And I was a big old husky motherfucker, dude, on a mongoose. I took off. I got the pedaling, and I thought she'd jump out of the way.
Yeah.
But all she did was get right in front of me.
Oh, no.
And my bike tire went right in her fucking puss.
Damn.
And it flipped her legs out away from me and up in the air, and she sprawled backwards, and she grabbed her fucking crotch, and she ran inside.
Oh, no.
And I said, what the fuck have I done?
I broke her collarbone.
I thought, oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah, I
We
did.
both beat the shit out of this girl.
Poor thing.
Yeah, she played football, and she got her
Yeah, we.
fucking huge heart, dude.
Yeah.
Huge heart.
The sweetest girl.
The absolute sweetest. And I felt really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really funny. The next day, I went to go check on her because
Yeah.
my mom's like, you need to go fucking check on her, you little son of a bitch. And it was a Wednesday. And I knocked on the door, and her mom came. She's like, yeah, she's all right. I'll get her. She came to the door. I was like, Candy, you okay? She said, yeah, I'm fine. You know, it didn't hurt that bad. And we just kind of stared at each other for a second. I said, I'm sorry. And she said, you know how you can make it up to me? And I was like, how? Because, you know, I kind of felt bad.
Yeah.
She's like, just go to church with me tonight.
Oh, no.
And I said, okay. I knew she went like Bible school, like
Yeah.
They all had fun and shit when they went. And she's like, my dad drives the bus, the van. He'll pick us up. And I was like, okay. And her fucking dad came to pick us up. And this motherfucker was drunker and shit. He had a big old fucking like Bubba keg full of Pepsi and vodka, or Pepsi and whiskey in the front.
Hell yeah.
He's like, I'm going to fucking church, man. He was in there, you know, barking at us and shit. And I said, what have I got myself into?
What is going on?
And that was one of my first church experiences was her drunk dad driving us to church, all because I drove a mongoose into her pussy.
Fuck.
Broke her flapper. Left a bald spot on my tire. Isn't it crazy how life works, man?
It's fucking weird, dude.
One second you're just trying to go ride bikes with your friends, and the next second you're riding shotgun with someone's drunk ass dad driving you to church.
After you split his daughter's crotch
All
open.
because you broke her butt.
You burnt rubber on her crotch. And not in the good way.
All because you fucking broke her pelvis in two.
Oh shit, man. That's rough. That poor girl, she got her ass beat growing up.
Yeah.
She was always a tomboy, so I mean it was like
Dude, she went like one of my closest friends growing up because she lived right around the corner.
Yeah.
I got so many cool memories with her. She's a cool girl. But, unfortunately, I drove a bike into her pussy. She didn't die.
Wrecked it.
We're not friends on Facebook, but she's got pictures of kids and shit on there. I don't know if they're hers, but
yeah,
I would imagine so. So I didn't hurt anything.
They are.
Okay.
Yep. It still works.
Yeah. There was at this point there was some type of communication breakdown between Diane and her newly found sweetness, Nick. He thought that, I'm sorry, she thought that he was going to leave his wife for her. He thought that, hey, this is just a fling, you know, it's not going to be anything more than that. We're just going to fucking bump uglies and then we're going to move on. Diane she found something in him that she'd never experienced before. There was actual care and intimacy involved. This is something that she had never experienced in her life. Robert and Diane even decided, I'm sorry, Nick, he's called.
I was going to say, what? Me?
His actual name was Robert, I do believe. Robert Knickerbocker. They called him Nick.
Okay, that's right. Okay. That's why I got confused, too.
They were like this fucking hot, passionate love. They decided we're going to get matching rose tattoos with their names on it.
That's cute.
All the while, he's still married to his wife. They go to the tattoo parlor. They pick out the rose. She gets it tattooed on her. Beautiful rose with Nick or Robert Knickerbocker on there. I don't know. And then the tattoo artist says, all right, your turn, pal. And Nick said, hey, you know what? I don't feel like this is a very good idea. So they went out to get matching tattoos. And she got it, and then he fucking chickened out at the last second. Yeah, so as soon as the ink dried on her tattoo, he fucking refused, and he left the tattoo parlor.
I'd feel like shit if I was her.
This was not the only time that he did her dirty. Charlene, who is the wife of Nick, had been privy to the affair from the very early stages. With remarkable patience, she held her ground, waiting for her husband to bring it to an end. Over the course of the following 9 months, Nick found himself bouncing back and forth between his fucking new lust doll, Diane, and his old steady, his wife, Charlene.
Oh, fucking Charlene.
In an attempt to create their own love nest, Diane even went so far as to rent an apartment for herself and Nick, and he never moved in with her. Even though he said he was, he never...
That's so sad.
He never moved in. When February 1983 rolled around, she went full throttle and pushed Nick to the brink, only to have him blurt out those fateful words, "Charlene, I choose you." And that's what he told. He said, "You know what? I can't do this anymore. I want to be with my wife, Charlene." And she said, "You know what? You want to be with your fucking wife, Charlene? Then I'm going to force your hand." She filed for a transfer through the USPS to transfer from Chandler to Springfield, Oregon, where her parents lived. And before she moved to Oregon, this Robert Knickerbocker, again, even though he just told her, I'm going to stay with Charlene. A few weeks later, he went to Diane's dad and said, "I'd like to ask your wife's your wife's hand in marriage," and he proposed to her at this big family gathering.
What the fuck?
And she said, "Yes, of course, yeah, I'd love that." Even though he still was married, and just days earlier had said, "I don't want to go. I'm not moving with you. I'm not moving into an apartment with you. I'm staying with my wife." But then he has the audacity. So she was seeing some very suspicious men. These were some scumbags, dude.
Yeah, that's
to do stuff like that to her.
That's wild.
And Diane even went as far as setting up a job for Nick in Oregon because her dad was a supervisor at the post office, a postmaster or something. Had a job set up for him in Oregon to be a postal carrier, and she moved to Oregon. And after she moved, Nick came to his senses again and said, "There is no fucking way I'm moving to Oregon with that woman." He stayed with his wife and started refusing Diane's mail, refusing her phone calls, refusing all correspondence, officially bringing their relationship to an end. One of the funny things I said that there's kind of two sides of this story.
Mm-hmm.
One of the authors and one of the research states that Nick was refusing her phone calls and refusing her mail. Actually, what had happened was Diane gave Nick $500. He needed a loan for $500. The only thing he had of value was a gold necklace that not Charlene gave him, but his wife before that. So he had a wife before Charlene.
Okay.
And Charlene fucking hated the gold chain because it came from his ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
But he needed a $500 loan, and the only person he knew he could get that money from was Diane. So he pawned the necklace with Diane as the collateral, for this $500 loan. The necklace wasn't worth shit. So Diane wasn't calling his phone and sending him mail to try and, "Where are you at? I love you so much." She was simply trying to get her $500 back, is why she was blowing him up.
Okay.
And that's one side of the story. For the atrocities and the horror we're going to hear about this story might not be what it appears to be. And we'll continue down that road here. Even after their relationship fizzled out in April of 1983, Diane couldn't resist pouring her heart out about Nick. She had a diary that she would write in. She would constantly write about the void she felt missing him, missing his body, and longing for their conversations. She even indulged in vivid fantasies about their future rendezvous in Oregon. Just fucking eating ass, sucking toes, dude. You ever just
yeah,
yeah, man. you know what's up, right?
Fuck yeah, man.
Dude, you just get sweaty, get poop under your fingernails. You don't know if it's your poop, my poop, or her poop.
You don't even care how it gets there.
You don't even fucking care if it's dog poop.
No.
I would care about that dog poop real bad. I went out to poop scoop this past weekend, and my neighbor was like fucking doing the trots across the yard. I was like, "You all right, man?" He's like, "Yeah, I just stepped in dog shit."
Oh, that's the worst.
And he was at the property line. I think it was my dog shit.
Oops.
So I was about to, "Hey, man, let me get that poop off for you?" But he got it off himself.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Despite convincing herself that she was the one and only for Nick and deluding herself into believing he would abandon Charlene and Arizona and move to Oregon, it did not stop her from diving headfirst into multiple sexual escapades with all the men that were willing in Oregon. Now, being a fucking postal carrier, you get to meet a lot of people on the route.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what she was doing. She was meeting fucking dudes on the route saying, "Hey, when I'm done dropping these packages off today, why don't you and I go get us a fucking drink?
Why don't you drop your package on my face?
Why don't you come back to the house and blister this pussy?"
Why don't you ride a fucking Huffy into my fucking pussy?
I'm sorry, dude. I didn't think she was going to stand there.
I mean, yeah. She kind of asked for it.
At least it wasn't a dick.
That's true.
Yeah, man. Fuck. She kind of asked for it. You're right, man.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad anymore.
You're not the bad guy in this situation.
I'm liberated. I know I might have tapped the brakes, too.
Yeah.
She hunkered down, though.
Especially when you ran into her.
Yeah.
You definitely slowed the bike down.
Yeah, that pussy slowed me down. Oh, man. And like I said, that other side of the research, the author detailed how they did, he did propose to her.
Mm-hmm.
She agreed, but she knew that he was such a financial liability with the fucking $500 loan and all the troubles he'd had before that. She actually wanted him to sign a prenup that said, we'll get married, but if we get divorced, you don't get any of my shit. And that was another red flag for him. He said, no. And I would imagine this is probably true.
Mm-hmm.
That he was on, off with his wife. He probably wanted to get with Diane, but she said, we want prenup. We want prenup. It's something that you need to have because when you leave your ass, you're going to leave with half. And he said, no way, Jose. No prenup for me. Me and my wife, we did a prenup. She agreed to fucking suck my dick anytime.
Is that how that works?
I can't find that I can't find that sheet of paper anywhere.
The night we were, she was cooking dinner. And I walked up behind her and I fucking bit her like on the neck, on the shoulder.
Yeah.
And she's like, ow! And she turned around and I like fucking pinned her up against the counter with my crotch.
Fucking the romance here, dog.
She said, I'm trying to cook dinner. I was like, what if we were like cats and every time I fucked you, I just bit you? She wasn't horny from it.
Yeah, man, I don't know how.
She didn't get horny from it.
I'm getting horny from you just telling me that.
What if we were like cats and every time we fucked, I bit you real hard?
It's like the male equivalent of like, if I was a worm, would you love me?
Yeah, I know. It is. Yeah, man. So that gets us to the night of May 19th, 1983. Unfortunately, there's the belief here that Diane thought that what was weighing her down were those three little anchors that she called her children. You'll remember at the beginning of the story what was the message that the story that was conveyed is there was a straggly man that approached them, tried to take the vehicle. She did not agree, and he actually shot Diane, Cheryl, Denny, all three children, killing one of the children, wounding the other two to a point where their lives would never be the same. May 19th, 1983, Diane Downs arrived at the emergency room in Springfield, Oregon. Her three children, Christy 8, Cheryl 7, and Danny 3, were all covered in blood in the back seat. They had been shot point blank. Sadly, the doctors declared Cheryl dead at the scene, and the other 2 children were suffering from life-threatening injuries. Investigators were suspicious of Diane from the start. They immediately noticed that she was too calm for someone who had just gone through something so traumatic. But their suspicions increased when Diane went to see Christy in the hospital for the first time. You'll remember that Christy's the oldest. Mm-hmm. She was 88. She was 8 years old enough to articulate what was going on, what was happening, old enough to tell the investigators what happened. As soon as Christy saw her mother, the little girl looked terrified in her hospital bed, and her heart rate jumped dramatically. They also realized that Diane, upon she was put there in the hospital, she called her old flame Knickerbocker. And as soon as she got to the hospital, and she was getting attention from Nick. And the doctors kind of picked up on this, that she was kind of being dramatic with him, and she kind of loved the attention. And they said, man, she is acting really weird about this. She just lost a child. Mm-hmm. Her other 2 children are laying there on the brink of death, about to die. She's about to lose all 3 children, and she's on the phone with her ex-lover like, oh my God, I can't believe it happened. If you and I were together, this would be so much easier to get through, kind of guilt tripping them. Mm-hmm. And it just didn't add up for the doctors and nurses. They're thinking, oh, this is fucking... And you'll remember, she'd been not diagnosed, but she went for a psych test twice and failed. She suffered from fucking severe psychosis. She was a walking Looney Tune. According to Diane, she saw a man on the road flagging her down and stopped. And she stopped because she thought that he needed help. He asked her for her car keys, and she pretended to throw them away to distract him. When she resisted, he shot her kids and struggled with her. She managed to jump in the car after getting shot in the arm. On her way to the hospital, she was followed by someone who testified, who said that she was driving very, very slowly. But Diane said that she was actually driving pretty fast. In the nurse's notes, she's described as being in shock and unable to grasp the depth of the situation. Most people describe Diane's injury as minor or superficial, but in all reality, it was a very serious injury. Her arm was severely damaged, so shattered that she needed a graft from her hip bone. A steel plate had to be attached, and some lead fragments were removed from her arm. Diane's automobile was secured and examined, and no gun was found. They checked her fingernails, to see if she had potentially buried the gun, and her fingernails were clean. They checked her shoes, and they were clean as well. She also underwent a gun residue test that same evening that revealed no trace of gunpowder on her hands. And a crime scene, it's very important. When a firearm is discharged, you don't really see it, but it fucking creates a bunch of gunpowder. And that actual the residue will get all over your hands or your fingers, and they can actually do a test to swab that and see if you were the one that shot the gun. The gunpowder test came back negative for her, which doesn't mean a whole lot if it's a gun that doesn't produce a lot of gunpowder, like a 22 caliber handgun, which is the alleged murder weapon in this instance. Then you might not, produce as much as say a 45 cal round or something like that. During the police investigation, they found out from her lovers, from her ex-husband and her ex-lover Nick, that she did indeed own a 22 caliber handgun. The same style gun that was used in the shooting of her children. Dr. John Mackey told investigators that based on the angle of the children's wounds, he felt the shooter had probably stood near the driver's door, but no blood splatter or gunpowder residue was found on the door or the door's interior. During their investigation, the investigators talked to neighbors and family who all said that she was a fucking horrible mother. These children were malnourished. They were constantly out wandering the neighborhood, looking. The older one that lived would go to the neighbor's house and say, "Can you help us out with food? We're hungry. We haven't eaten. We haven't seen our mom." The mom would often just leave the kids at her parents for days, weeks on end. She was not a good mom. It breaks my heart that the child in that situation didn't have a meal, man.
Yeah, that sucks.
That crushes me.
That sucks.
And that's what was going on here. Diane had been readmitted to the hospital in early June to have surgery on her injured arm, and the investigation was still going on at this point, where a single bullet had shattered her radius. Both Christy and Danny were still in the hospital. Diane had visited them daily, but the state was working to have custody removed from her. Investigator Kurt Wost took the opportunity while Diane was under sedation to speak to Danny. You'll remember the older one, Christy, while she did live, she did suffer a lot of paralysis. She couldn't really speak that well yet. For all of the questions that they needed answered, she would have been the one to answer all those questions, but she couldn't really talk that well yet.
Sad.
So they deferred to the 3-year-old boy, Denny, to try and get some answers out of him. The little boy was in a wheelchair and didn't understand why he couldn't stand up and walk. Little Danny told the investigator that he remembered going to Heather Plord's house that night, which Heather Plord was one of Diane's friends who had a horse farm, and they went there to visit a horse.
Okay.
Is what she told the investigators. He said that he sat in the backseat of the car with Christy, his sister. He remembered seeing Christy get hurt and that she didn't cry, but she indeed had been hurt in the arm. He admitted that he was afraid to talk about it and, quote, not supposed to answer, and that, quote, my mommy ran over me with the car. And this is coming from a 3-year-old. So when I say right here, my mommy ran over me with the car, that fucking kid probably thought that he got ran over with the car. In all actuality, he got shot by somebody. Mm-hmm. It's a 3-year-old. They don't make sense.
Yeah.
They're waiting for the 8-year-old to come to regain what she had lost from being shot. The sister that he said went to sleep was the one, sadly, that passed away. On June 6th, the state finally took custody away from Diane. Within 24 hours of her nearly dying, Christy had begun, the older sister, she had begun having like clonic movements on the right side of her body and face, small spasms and twitches, which were like mini seizures, indicating trouble in her brain. Christy suffered no head injuries, but she had basically bled out, a condition that wreaks havoc with the body's chemistry. She had also stopped breathing for a period of time. By that afternoon, she was no longer able to respond with any consistency to verbal commands. Dr. Bruce Becker felt she had a stroke on the left side of her brain. Whatever Christy could remember and share about the shooting would have to wait indefinitely until she was recovered. And as Christy's speech improved, lots of details were brought to light. Once Christy was able to speak, she remembered going to Heather Plord's house, and she remembered that their car, a new one, had been red. She recalled that her mother would slap her in the face, would spank Danny on the bottom, and would frankly slap Cheryl in the face. She wouldn't answer as to whether or not she wanted to live with her mom, but did admit that she believed the shooting had happened because she was bad. Although the police had wanted to arrest Diane by summer of 1983, they chose to wait for Christy, the daughter, to be well enough to recount what had happened that night in May. It would take many months. Danny turned 4 on December 29th. Diane showed up at his foster home with a Smurf birthday cake and a camera crew in tow. And Cheryl would have turned 8 on January 10th, 1984, but unfortunately, Cheryl had passed away. A month earlier, Diane had revealed a bomb to everyone. She was pregnant with her 4th child. This was not another surrogate, but one created from love, she said. She declined to identify the father, as he was a private person. In truth, the father was a young teacher she had met while working one day that ended up sleeping with her after a night of drinking and smoking pot. February 1984, a secret grand jury handed down indictments against Diane for 2 counts of assault in the first degree, 2 counts of attempted murder, and 1 count of murder because her oldest daughter, Christy, was able to establish with the police that night her mother was indeed the one that shot all 3 of them with a .22 caliber rifle. The police were able to recover bullets at her duplex that matched bullets that were used in the gun that she used to kill her 3, attempt to kill her 3. She killed one of her children, but attempting to kill all 3 of them. Nearly a year after the shootings on May 8th, 1984, the trial against Diane began before Judge Gregory Foote. Wearing a blue maternity dress with a lacy white collar, Diane appeared to be a very sympathetic defendant. And she gave a lot of... Diane went on the media rounds. She was giving the oddest, strangest interviews. She loved the camera being in her face. She loved all the attention she was getting from this trial, from this investigation. She absolutely ate it up, man. And it was so sad to see a mother do something like that to her children that would fucking relish in that spotlight. I'd be lying if I said she was dead right now because she's still alive.
Ugh.
But I wish she was fucking dead.
Yeah, me too.
In fact, many of the courtroom spectators were housewives who were either desperate to support her or desperate to find out if she were guilty. Bullets in her duplex matched the bullets used in the gun, like I said. One of the doctors came forward and said that she was at the hospital every day with her kids. But the doctor testified and said it didn't seem like she wanted her children to live. She was not passionate about a lot of the moves they were making to help her children to survive. When the doctor would talk to Diane about certain medical procedures that they were going to do to try and fix her oldest daughter, she would always say, well, at this point, it's really not worth her living if we have to...
Jeez.
And it was.
It's definitely something that not like a competent parent would say.
Right, and she just wasn't, she wasn't gung-ho on doing whatever it took to save her children, and the doctors were picking up on that. On May 19th, 1983, Diane Downs injured her 3 children through gunshots before transporting them to McKenzie Wilmette Hospital in Springfield, Oregon. Why do I have this down here? Okay. Prosecutors argue that Downs shot her children to be free of them so that she could continue her affair with Knickerbocker. As she claimed that he let it be known that he did not want children in his life. So Diane thought that if she would just rid herself of her children, that Robert would want to be with her. Robert Knickerbocker would want to be with her. So her master plan was to effectively kill her children. Much of the case against her rested on the testimony of her surviving daughter, Christy, who, once she recovered her ability to speak, described how her mother shot all 3 children while parked at the side of the road, then shot herself in the arm. Downs was convicted on all charges on June 17, 1984, and sentenced to life in prison plus 50 years. She's required to serve 25 years before being considered for parole. Most of Diane's sentence is to be served consecutively. The judge made it clear that he did not intend for Diane to ever be free again. Good. Diane's 2 surviving children eventually went to live with the lead prosecutor on the case, Fred Hughey. He and his wife, Joanne, adopted them in 1986. Christy Downs, the first child who did live, the daughter who testified at her trial, she suffers from a speech disability. She has a son and a daughter whom she named Cheryl in the memory of her late sister. Prior to her arrest, Diane became pregnant with a 5th child and gave birth to a girl whom she named Amy Elizabeth a month after her 1984 trial. 10 days before her sentencing, Amy, the newborn baby, was seized by the state of Oregon and adopted by Chris and Jackie Babcock, who subsequently renamed her Rebecca Babcock. Diane was initially incarcerated at the Oregon Women's Correctional Center in Salem. On July 11th, 1987, she actually escaped from custody from her cell by scaling an 18-foot razor wire fence.
Holy hell.
For 10 days, Diane managed to evade law enforcement despite a 14-state manhunt before she was finally recaptured. Ooh. She received an additional 5-year sentence for the escape. And this is where it gets a little weird here, man.
Okay.
In May of 2013, the SalemNews.com website put forward a new suspect in the Diane Downs shooting, a man named James Haynes. According to a, quote, number of witnesses, Haynes confessed to having made a hit on the Downs family. Haynes reportedly stated that Diane was being used to gather evidence on a prosecutor named Pat Horton, who prosecuted drug crimes against outlaw biker gangs. Haynes, not gangs, motorcycle clubs, outlaw motorcycle clubs. They're not gangs. Haynes, as the enforcer of the local drug ring, allegedly was sent to kill Diane and her family for $25,000. In one of her recent parole interviews, Diane actually said, I was dating some guy that said he was in the FBI. I don't know. I never asked for a badge. We'll listen to the parole interview in just a second. And this parole interview, I believe, was before this came out. Keep in mind that when they did the gunshot residue, there was nothing on her. There was no fingerprints on the vehicle, nothing like that. They're strictly going off the testimony from her 8-year-old daughter.
Okay.
That said my mom shot all 3 of us and shot herself. How vivid that detail is, not extremely vivid.
Yeah.
But we have this new dimension here of possibly a hitman being involved. A friend of Haynes claimed in an affidavit that while he and Haynes were in a drug house waiting to pick up dope for Haynes, a blonde woman walked in and engaged in a very loud verbal argument with the dealer. The friend swore that the woman was Diane Downs. He also said that Haynes owned a variety of cars, one of which was an older yellow model. It was this friend's understanding or belief that Haynes had arranged to meet Diane on Old Mohawk Road so that Diane could buy drugs from him, and then he shot her and her children. After 12 years as DA, Pat Horton opted not to seek another term in 1984 and became a defense attorney for the bikers that he had previously prosecuted.
Oh, shit. Wow.
James Haynes died around 2015. A poster on the SalemNews.com website saying he was Haynes' son disputed the allegation that his father was a killer or had anything to do with the Downs case. So that's a little different dimension there to this story that maybe this crazy bitch.
Maybe she didn't.
I think she did.
I think she did too.
I hope she fucking dies.
But
and we'll play this for you.
Maintain that you did not commit these murders, or the murder and the other crimes you were convicted of?
Absolutely. I didn't commit them, and I still maintain my innocence.
The night you took your children to the hospital in Springfield, will you describe the events of that evening?
Yes. My kids and I were sitting at home watching TV. We were watching Helen Keller, the Helen Keller story. I received a phone call from someone who said that he wanted me to come pick up some photographs for my boyfriend. Not of my boyfriend, but for my boyfriend, Rick. Rick is a guy that I'd been dating for about 6 weeks, and he claimed to be an FBI agent. Whether or not he was, I don't know.
We didn't talk about Rick at all. We have no fucking idea who Rick is. Mm-hmm. Through all my research, there's nobody named Rick. We got Robert Knickerbocker, Nick, but Rick, we don't know. Okay. She says she's dating this guy, and he alleges he's an FBI agent.
I certainly never called him at work or showed up or made him prove it or show a badge. It didn't matter to me. I wasn't to me, it was just dating. But I received a phone call about 9:15 from someone who said I needed to come pick some photographs up for Rick. I piled the kids in the car. We went out to go meet this person to pick up the photographs. I stopped by Heather. Wow, I can't remember Heather's last name now. I stopped by Heather's house because I told Heather on the phone a few days earlier that I had a newspaper ad for her. So she had been wanting to buy a horse, and this was a newspaper ad that would allow her to adopt a horse. So I had told her that I had a newspaper clipping for her that I'd found at work. So as long as we were going out to meet this guy to pick up photographs, we went by Heather's house. Heather said, I already got a horse just the other day. So we went to see the horse. We got back in the car. We left. I went to meet this guy. Somebody in the road flagged us down. I stopped and got out of my car, and he said something to the effect of, I want your car. And I laughed at him. And I said, you've got to be kidding. Because in my mind, those kinds of things don't happen. In Arizona, those things don't happen. I don't know about Oregon, but in Arizona, those things don't happen. And so he jumped into the car, leaned into the car, and started firing the weapon. And it happened so quickly that by the time he stood up and faced me, it was over. I mean, it was just that fast. He said something about the car again, and I struggled with him. The gun discharged. He fell back. I jumped in the car, put the keys in the ignition, and took off. The car door shut by itself. That's it. And I went to the hospital. Christy and Danny were in the back seat. When we got to the hospital, they were still crying. The nurses reported that they were still crying. The state says that I was the one that shot them and that I wanted them dead. If that was the case, I would not have taken them to the hospital still crying.
She's almost... I mean, the kids were crying when they arrived at the emergency room.
True.
She knew they weren't dead. Just, something to think about.
Yeah.
There are so many other ways to accomplish such a horrific deed if I was going to do it. I'm certainly bright enough to figure out another way besides some way that looks so absolutely insane and hokey that nobody would believe it. I'm not dumb.
Ultimately, you told several different versions of the story when law enforcement investigated this, correct? When you talked.
Not correct.
Ultimately, well, I understood that you told law enforcement that this was done by two men.
This is where she starts to lose credibility from me right here.
This is what somebody told me. How do I explain this? After my children and I were attacked, the police kept saying, Diane, you must have lapses in your memory because there's holes in this you could drive a semi-truck through. None of this makes sense. You're forgetting something. I believed, because I'd never had any dealings with authorities, and I believed the authorities, and so I thought they did, that I had lapses of memory. I can't tell you how the towel got around my arm, so I know from my own personal experience that I did have at least that much of a lapse of memory. I don't know how the towel got around my arm. So when I would people would call me up, and people would say, I know so-and-so, and he said such and such. I have another guy would call and say, I have a neighbor, and he has a car that just looks just like that, and he's been talking. These kinds of things were being said to me either by phone. People would stop me on my mail route. I worked in Cottage Grove, and people would drive all the way to Cottage Grove just to meet me on my mail route and tell me these kinds of things. So I would call the police, or I would go to the police, and I would say, this is what's being told to me. Those are the kinds of things they would say that I changed my story. I wasn't changing my story. I was trying to help. The police kept saying I had lapses of memory. people were calling me and telling me things that I thought, well, maybe this is what happened that I don't know. And so I would tell the police, believing that I was helping them investigate. They didn't tell anybody that these are reports, that I was giving them reports from other people. They would simply say, Diane came in and said such and such. The one about the ski mask was dreams that I was having, and they kept saying, well, maybe you forgot something. So when I would have a dream and I would wake up, I would think, well, maybe that's what I would forget. And so
this is like a fucking criminal. This is a criminal talking.
Yeah,
this is a fucking psychopath. That's when she, at first, okay, there's a little bit of credibility. Not credibility. You certainly, there's a certain element of, you kind of ponder on it for a second and say, she kind of right. She knew she wanted to kill these fucking kids. Shot them with a gun.
Yeah, yeah.
She knew that she didn't do a good job shooting them.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most damning things that I heard is they told her that the daughter that lived, they said she was shot, but the bullet missed her heart.
Okay. And
she was very inquisitive about how could that happen? How could the bullet miss her heart? How could that happen? She was very caught up by the fact that the bullet didn't hit her in the heart. So I think that's what she was trying to do, was shoot her daughter in the heart to ultimately kill her.
Yeah.
And she seemed very flabbergasted that the bullet missed the heart. I think there's not much. There's a little bit, a few different layers there to think about.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, what she was tried and prosecuted and convicted of is what she did.
For sure. That's what it seems. And especially that part, just like you said, that's just the talks of a criminal talking in circles right there.
Talking circles. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. She's out sucking fucking dick on her mail route, and her kids are at home trying to open up a bag of ramen goddamn noodles.
They always say whenever someone like this in this, not necessarily in this type of situation, but whenever a criminal is trying to take the blame away from them, that they drop a lot of unnecessary stuff, and they talk about they fill out a lot more broader of a picture than what really needs to be painted, and that's like a red flag.
I did that major case study that I'm not allowed to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I worked on a project where I analyzed 911 phone calls with a former police lieutenant. I tried to get him to come on the show. He got fucking livid when I asked him about it. He said, we can't let the bad guys know about this shit. Well, I don't fucking care anymore. I never signed an
NDA or anything.
Yeah, there's none of that. And one of the things, you can look him up. It's just he speaks all around the world now about whether the 911 caller is in fact the person that committed the murder.
Mm-hmm.
One of the signs is, yes, they go into great detail, kind of like she says, when I drove away, the door was open, but when I drove away, it shut by itself.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't fucking matter right now. That does nothing towards the for your narrative of trying to get out of prison, trying to convince these people that you're innocent.
Mm-hmm.
Just these little detail, little nuances here and there. Yeah, it's usually a telltale sign. Yep. Even when I'm lying to people about shit, I'll be like, yeah, fucking my underwear, fucking they were flipped. The band of my underwear is flipped down, and I flipped it up, then I fucking went to get the $50 out of my wallet that I owe you.
It's like, dude, we're talking about Coca-Cola right now.
The fucking money I owe you is not there. It's because the underwear fucked me up, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
You know what's up, dude. You know I got you, though. This $50, I got you.
You know I'm fucking good for it.
I'm always good for it, bro. Hell yeah. All right. Well, that concludes our episode of Dirty D Diane Downs.
What a dumb bitch.
Stupid fucking bitch. Killed her kids. Killed one of them.
Yeah.
If you look her up on YouTube, there is some lots and lots of interviews that she did before she was actually prosecuted.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually some interviews out there of the children that survived the shooting. They're adults now.
Yeah.
Some pretty compelling stuff by ABC. I didn't want to get another copyright strike, so I just left it. Let them keep it. Stupid shit.
Love it.
We are getting sued by Getty Images for using one of their images and not paying for it.
No.
Yeah, they sent me a letter the other day. So I think I can get out of it.
I was gonna say that's fucking Getty. God damn it.
I know. I'm gonna send back a letter offering to fight their best, like put their best up against our best,
Yeah.
and we'll just go fight them for the picture. And it was all like a stupid fucking picture too. It was like the Facebook spy episode.
Yeah.
And the cover art was like Facebook logo with a bunch of question marks around it.
Mm-hmm.
Just some fucking picture
Oh,
I
yeah.
ripped from somewhere.
That anybody could have did. Yeah.
Not even a good one.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a picture of tits or an ass or anything.
I was hoping it was one of the ones with Jerry in the background.
Definitely ours. That's ours. That guy holding the ferret, he's our stepdad. Hell yeah.
Oh man.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning into this episode. Before we get sued and lose everything and we have to sell all this equipment, we can still do a podcast on our phones.
Yeah, we sure can.
Microphones have really advanced with these iPhones and shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, you have a great week. Sorry it's coming to you late, but I hope you had a great Independence Day.
Yeah.
George Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Abraham Franklin. All of them, dude. All freedom fighters, buddy.
Love it.
Happy Independence Day.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Happy Miller High Life.
Bye.
See you guys. Hi there, YouTube.
Bye there, YouTube.
Bye there, YouTube. You guys have a great night.
You guys have a good one.
Send them the head of a broccoli and carrot stalk. Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Abraham Franklin.